All right, we're back. Welcome back to another reaction. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Anyways, we have another whatever podcast clip. It is called "Do Christian Marriages Need a Prenup?" Now, if you are not familiar with a prenup is when two people get married. They also have another contract they have to sign. If either of them want a divorce, they don't have to split anything, okay? They keep whatever they earned, and that goes for money, a house, and, just other objects. Kids, I don't think that's in the question because that's a whole different story. But what we got here is a interesting podcast, so let's get into it. Like I said, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy it, and let's go. Also, I won't be pausing as much as I did last time, so sorry about that.
Marriage topic.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, from a religious perspective, marriage makes sense.
Join us.
Not us personally. Yeah, there you go.
She's not up for the gangbang. She's not up for it.
Idealistically, my marriage is cool, I guess. From a religious perspective, I think it's great, but there's just certain realities when it comes to marriage because, at any point in your relationship, let's say both people are religious. At any point in the marriage, for example, as a man, the risks, the point of view from a man, your wife could just randomly choose. She reserves the right at any point to, sorry, the thing is becoming undone again. Your wife reserves the right at any point to become a feminist and go to the state for recourse in her divorce, where she can get alimony and
sign a prenup.
Prenups are regularly. My understanding, I mean, I'm going to have some family and divorce lawyers on the show eventually, but my understanding with prenups is it can apply for everything earned prior to the marriage, I believe. But once you're married, it becomes collective property. So whatever you make during the course of the marriage could be subject to, community property. She gets 50% of whatever it was that you made during that. Then there's alimony, etc. And then prenups frequently get challenged. Recently here in Santa Barbara, we had, who's that actor? Nick, could you Google the actor, famous actor? His name is evading me right now. It was a dispute here in Santa Barbara because they were married to
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner, thank you.
Yeah.
Very wealthy actor, and they had a prenuptial agreement. And it was a very favorable to the wife, the agreement. She would get a certain amount of money, but there was a clause in the prenup that says you will not, if you challenge the prenup in court, you will not receive certain benefits that would have otherwise been awarded to you under the prenup. She went ahead and challenged the prenup anyways, despite the fact that the prenups had something like, I'll give you, I don't know the exact numbers, but she would get upon divorce, an immediate
300K a month.
Well, she got 200K in what? Child support? 200,000. She would get an immediate $200,000 payment. I thought it was more.
That doesn't seem.
Is that monthly?
I don't know
That's
what.
what I'm wondering.
I don't know. In any case, she would get an immediate, very large sum, and she'd get some child support and alimony. She challenged it anyways. Then you're talking about lawyers' fees. I think the husband might have to pay the. Anyways,
can I jump in on what you're saying though? Because I think it's really interesting. Can high-value men even get married? Like women are like, I want a high-value man. I want the high value and things like that. All right, we were joking earlier. I don't know if you're here or not. But anyway,
I'm going to mute a lot of this, by the way.
The whole idea though of like, can they even get married? Because one of the beautiful things with Becca and I is when we met, we were literally sleeping on a dead man's bed, and we didn't kill the guy. But what happened was our family ran assisted living homes, and my dad's like, I got a bed for you. And I was like, great. And then I'm like, years later, I'm like, where did we get that bed from? He's like, well, somebody passed, we had an open bed. I'm like, what? So we're literally sleeping on a dead man bed when we first get married. But then we got to grow with each other, and that's a beautiful thing. And so sometimes when women say, well, I'll just marry the high value man when I'm 35 and he's 45, well, why does he need you Why does he want you? What are you bringing to the table? How are you iron sharpening iron?
So that's why I feel like it's important for a woman to still work. And like if I got married, I would sign the prenup so my husband, you know, wouldn't have that lingering thought in his head like, okay, well, what if she doesn't want to be with me, but she doesn't have anything, so she's not going to say anything and just, you know, use me. So I feel like it's important for a woman to still have her own, you know, motion going on, her own stream of income, and the man has his own thing going on too, because if you don't want to be with him, you can leave and you won't feel stuck and trapped and then hate your life. Like, you know, I feel
that's actually a good POV to look at it. That's actually a good POV to look at it. But also, as like a Christian couple, a Christian marriage, if you guys do have that type of thought at all, you guys need to sit down and pray together and talk, because that is not of God. Okay? That is not of God. There should be no arguments, because arguments are pointless. Forgot what Bible verse that was, but arguments are pointless, and there should be no such thing as any type of talk of divorcing or separating. So that's what I want to say right there.
Like I could never like just be taken care of and not do anything. Like I'd have to have some kind of business going on. Or
well, he's
something.
not looking for money from you. If he's high value, making all this money, driving the Lambos. So in that regard, he's looking for something that maybe he didn't have those first 20 years when he's building his empire. So he's looking for someone to help build that family. So then it's kind of, what value are you bringing to the table at that point? He doesn't need the 100 grand, 200 grand, even $1 million if he's making 10, let's say. I don't know. He's Kevin Costner.
Value shouldn't be based
he's on the market
upon
now.
Money, though.
I feel like if you're going to get married, you shouldn't have to question your partner, like, oh, I'm going to get a prenup. Like that wouldn't even cross my mind.
You're planning for it
forever.
to fail.
Like, no.
No, if you have
a prenup.
If you have a prenup,
Yes.
it's like,
that's how I feel.
It's like when this fails,
yes.
this
Do you
is what
guys
we're
have a
going to do.
prenup?
But
I honestly,
no,
I don't think
absolutely
so.
not. We had no money.
I know
and
when I get married, I'm
even
also going to sign a prenup. Not necessarily because I'm wanting something to fail. I don't think that my marriage is going to fail. I'm religious. I wouldn't get married to you if I thought it was going to get failed in the first place. However, there are things like affairs where if something were to occur where I can get an annulment through my own church, then yeah, I would go ahead and get a divorce or something.
But when you're married, you're supposed to stay with them through thick or thin.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to stay with a cheater, though. You know what I'm saying?
Forgiveness.
No, I'm not going to stay with a cheater. Something that if God is out of your life, especially if God leaves our relationship, I do not want to be with you.
I do want to.
That's also something I'm really afraid of happening in the future. If, like, of course, I think this goes for every girl, but also it doesn't. It like girls do things off their emotions. Like it's literally been proven that dudes are problem solvers and girls are the emotional people who like just wants to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Wants the feelings to be put out and everything. The thing is about that is if my girl now cheats on me in the future when we're married and everything, and I don't have a prenup, and if we don't sign up prenup, it's just we don't have to sign a prenup. I wouldn't know what I would be doing in that moment, because that moment is going to be really like icing, I guess, and you have to think about like how long has this been going on, how long has she been lying to me, how long did she feel like this. It's going to be a lot taken out of me to forgive her and continue the relationship. But if I do continue the relationship, I'm doing it for God, and I'm not doing it for us at this point. So, but I think I did hear you can divorce your spouse if you guys do, if like one of you guys do cheat or adulterate. That's not a word. If they guys do cheat.
I do want to ask those who are perhaps more pro-marriage. And again, look, from a religious perspective, I don't object to it. And also, I just want to make something clear. I think you can object to the institution of marriage, but also be in favor of a long-term, committed, monogamous, like you could raise children, have a nuclear family without involving the government, without getting married. And so I guess it's a two-part question. Can you present to me, those of you who perhaps are more in favor of marriage, compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married, and assuming that these men are otherwise open to having a nuclear family, say they're open to having a not just open, but desirous of having a monogamous, long-term life partner. As a
yeah, I think when we have these iPhones that we can look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but when you have an iPhone, you can look at corn all day. Shouldn't we all just be walking around like, oh my?
Our camera's about to die again? What? How is this pop? I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, just 1 second. Hey, we're back.
Goodness, I can see any person at any time at anything, and people are depressed. People are walking around not feeling good. Self-deletion rates are high. Sorry, it was on the list. And so we have to look at that. Why does somebody want to get married? Love, connection, and intimacy. And it's beautiful because it's a great environment for me to raise my children in. I get to have children. Gosh, when you have those kids and just getting to, it's something that once you do, you know, you get that full experience. But, you know, it's a better environment for them. It is better for me to, on this relationship, because we are absolutely committed to each other till death.
But let me, okay, so, but again, I think you mentioned love. You can have monogamy, you can have all these things outside of marriage, and you mentioned, well, it's great for the kids, but
you're worried about they're going to walk on you. Well, it got a little hard. The sex isn't as good. I saw it on OnlyFans.
Right,
babe.
but but we have a massive divorce industry, so this idea that marriage forever keeps people in relationships is fallacious, because clearly people are getting divorced, even deeply religious people. So
let me bring up an interesting topic for you then. So with arranged marriages, they have a 4 to 6% roughly divorce rate, and we got 40 to 50% divorce rate. And some people say, I worship the God of science, lowercase g, and they say if it's in a scientific thing, then I'm going to worship it, and I care about it. But then when you come to something like this, then they go, well, you know, I feel like I can choose and emotions just ride over.
But what percentage of marriages do you think will in 2024 are coming from arranged? That are arranged? I think it's
well. I think one of the big things is they don't know each other. They're working on that relationship. They're saying we're not going anywhere. We're going to be in this thing for the long haul. Versus just we'll try it. If it doesn't work, we'll get the divorce. And we got 97% of alimony payments are made by men to women. So if I am the feminist, then I can jump out.
But he was saying how many marriages are arranged.
Oh, probably very few. I assume it's very few.
I feel like Dwight. I feel like a billion people in India would say.
Oh well, sure, but I'm looking more at it from the U.S. perspective, or even the Western perspective, where I think marriage is something.
I heard that was like an India thing, an Indian thing. Was it an Indian thing where they arrange your marriage and all that, and they also like. Yeah. Is it? Let me know that in the comments.
Something that's typically more voluntarily entered into as opposed to arranged. Now, we can certainly have a conversation of should we have arranged marriages? Perhaps it works, but I think that's unlikely to be a realistic implementation anytime in the near future anyways. So, look, again, my concern is just I just don't see a compelling argument for it when I can have the family, I could be monogamous without having the state involved in my
it's so
my
much more
relationships.
Commitment, and also
it's
so much more commitment.
Is it?
Yeah, my parents always taught me that once you're in a marriage, you're in
so
it.
Basically,
you're not getting divorced.
But you're removing agency from the individual. It's basically there's the state's gun pointed at you in one way or another, saying, well, if you guys get divorced, then there will be financial ruin. And I think that's a terrible reason to stay in a relationship. Well, there will be financial repercussions if you don't. How about just build a really solid relationship with somebody?
Well, the whole point of getting married in the first place is that you're going to die with that person. So it's not really this. It shouldn't be the state pointing a gun at you, being like, okay, one day when you guys decide to get divorced, we're going to come in there and jack everything. No, that's not. If you can even picture not being with your life spending your life with somebody at any point in your life, don't be with them. The whole point of getting married in the first place is to say, I don't care about your flaws. I don't care what you do. I don't care
that
what happens. I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there.
I like her. I like how she talking. It says something about her.
Grid One Motorsports
You could have
$100.
Thank you, Grid One. Appreciate it.
Watched a lot of marriages fail over the years. You are either in it to win it or you stand ready to pull the ripcord and bail. Women sue for divorce 80% of the time. Men are not the problem, ladies.
Because nobody's viewing marriage as people used to view it. I mean, if you think of it nowadays, when did the divorce rate spike? It was back in the 70s. What was in the 60s? What was in the 50s? What was in the 30s, the 40s, the 20s? Well, people were heavily
feminism and the birth control pill.
Exactly. No, exactly. I'm not disagreeing whatsoever. I honestly do believe women can kind of be the problem.
I think it's just the view of marriage. It's like it's been destroyed as like, oh, the ball and chain. It's just this negative
no
perception. So Brian, like you, it's like you don't have faith that having a marriage can be this absolutely beautiful thing, to be committed to someone.
I feel like you can have that without the marriage.
That's kind of my position, is like, I'm not like this guy who just wants to sleep with a bunch of women throughout all my years and never have long-term relationship or never have children. Like, I can certainly absolutely see myself having a partner and us having kids and it being monogamous and faithful and us staying together for the rest of our lives. I'm not sold on the marriage component of it, because it's like, well, what if it doesn't work? You know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Everything's connected, and your taxes.
Everything's connected.
I think you know in your gut, and like you should just always stick by that person and work together.
Before you get married, for anybody, this is the last time I'm going to pause the video, but I just want to say this: if you are thinking about marrying somebody or being with them, you have to stick with them. Like, so I heard a lot of pastors and TikTokers, they say that God did not call Christian couples to be boyfriend and girlfriend. You're with that person until you guys elope and get married, and death do you guys part. So if you are in a relationship with your girl or your boy, and you know what I'm saying, your girlfriend or boyfriend, something like that, do not marry them until you don't even have to ask that question. If it doesn't work out, don't ever like if you have to ask yourself that question, do not marry that person. All right, that's just the truth. All right.
But so what when you get married, what are the vows that you have to say? Till death do us part, in sickness and in health, in good and what is it, in good and in bad. Yeah. Those words have to mean something. But clearly those words mean nothing to like a vast swaths of people who ultimately end up getting divorced, despite them saying that in front of their friends and family. I think there's a couple problems. First off, on a social level, there's no longer really a stigma to getting divorced. So like on a societal, and certainly I don't think we're going to do anything.
People having divorce parties.
We're not going to do anything to like I don't think there's going to be any legislation really to like revamp anything. And so that's an error, I think. And then we have no social pressure. There's no social stigma to being divorced. Your community doesn't give a fuck. Your family doesn't care. Your friends don't care. You're not going to face a stigma. If you're a Catholic, for example, there's still, I think, to some degree, stigma there, like within your subculture. But even then, people are getting divorced. So there's no laws that are kind of incentivizing people to stay together. We have no fault divorce, okay? And then there's no social stigma. So
it's because it's been normalized.
And also the moment, if the man's the breadwinner in the relationship, this is why this is sort of a gendered issue, because why men are hesitant to get married. We'll let this one come in from Grid One Motorsports. Thank you, man.
Lesbian relationships fail an order of magnitude more than gay marriages.
Okay.
Ladies, you are the problem due to feminism.
Well, look at that.
Feminism has failed you. The patriarchy stands ready to restore you to glory.
Let's go. The patriarchy
stands ready to
By the way, Grid One Motorsports.
All right, that's like 5 seconds left. But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in this reaction. Hope everybody enjoyed it or learned something from this about marriages. Like I said, marriage is a serious thing. Before you even do it, you guys have to sit down and really talk, seriously really talk about, your plan, your finances, your dreams, your careers. You have to go through everything. So before you even have to ask yourself that question out, or say that to the person you want to marry them, you get yourself together first. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And it's your boy Justice. And I'll see you guys in another reaction. I'm out. Peace.